Hello and welcome to another House of Wisdom knife review video, and today we're going to be looking at the WE 717 Valiant. It's one of the smaller offerings offered by WE Knives, and I'm excited to review it. You guys might have noticed that I haven't been putting out a video in a while. My family and I, we've been skiing in Colorado in the Winter Park area for the last month, and it's good to be back. Some of you wrote me notes in the comments section mentioning that you missed the video. So anyway, here comes the next one with the WE. WE has another attempt at making a small knife. The shortest knife so far has been the 605. I'll put a picture up in the right corner here. It had a 3-inch blade with a 7-inch overall length, much like the Valiant, but weighed only 4.01 ounces. The Valiant is the same size, but is an ounce heavier. WE's lightest knife to date has been the 704 in carbon fiber. It weighed 2.82 ounces, and it had a 3.5-inch blade. WE Knives has made lighter knives and smaller knives, but they do them as an OEM contract. Here, for example, is the Ferrum Forge Gent, which weighed only 2.4 ounces, and the Ferrum Forge Falcon, which only weighed 3.6 ounces. And we manufacture both of these knives, but it seems when they manufacture their own knives, they go a little bit heavier and a little bit larger, and so that's what we're looking at today. We'll start out with the specifications. The blade on the Valiant is a 3-inch blade. The handle is 4 inches. Giving an overall knife length of 7 inches and a weight of 5.1 ounces. This fits into what I call the little big knife, and there's been some room made in the category because one of my favorite little big knives, which was the Zero Tolerance 0900, was taken out of production by Zero Tolerance this year. There's also the Medford Micropraetorium that is one of the little big knives. And we'll take a flash from the past with the Strider knife here, which is the Baby Huey. And then EB Knives has a special knife that's a little big knife. This is called the Bully, and you might notice that its blade looks different because it's colored. That's because the blade is not made out of steel. It's made out of a special metal combination alloy called SM100, and it has no iron in it. So the Bully is also one of those little big knives. The blade of the Valiant is a hollow ground S35V end with a top swedge. As you can see, the primary grind and the top swedge have a stonewash finish, whereas the flats have a horizontal satin finish. On the spine of the knife, there are 6 jimping lines. The proximal 3 flow down obliquely onto the flats on both sides for artistic design. The sharpening ricasso is perfectly placed just ahead of the plunge lines, so the blade edge remains perfectly sharp until the ricasso. The blade thickness on this knife is 161 thousandths, and it is a nice, thick, sturdy blade. The method of deployment of the knife is by flipper. The flipper tab on the leading edge has some jimping, and the flipper tab configuration is at a 45-degree angle to the handle, which in my opinion is the perfect configuration. The handle is made out of anodized titanium. This one is purple, but WE makes it also in blue, green, and gray. It has milled carbon fiber inserts which provide good traction for the knife. And there's some other milling on the titanium. There are the 5 dots followed by a line just for artistic interest. As you notice on the clip side, because of lock bar, this pattern is not present. And on the interior of the knife, of the handle, there is a lot of interior milling. So they tried everything they could to make such a chunky knife lighter, but it still weighs in at 5.1 ounces. The hardware on the knife is the WE proprietary Star hardware. It is on the pivot, the lock bar insert, and then this back panel, which we're going to talk about. WE provides their proprietary hardware pivot tool free of charge with the knife, which is a plus for WE. I'll talk about this construction a little bit. This back plate with the screw is interesting because it holds both handle scales and the clip together all with one U-shaped piece, which is very interesting, which gives it a very simple design. It just has 2 points of attachment, this back plate, and then the pivot, and that's all that holds the knife together. I love the simplicity of that. The flipper deployment is very good, but you can make the flipper fail. You can also make it succeed if you flip it hard. The pivot runs on ceramic bearings. The lock bar of the knife is a frame lock and has a lock bar insert with over travel stop. The pocket clip on the knife is a 3D titanium tip up right hand only carry pocket clip. It's not possible to carry it left handed. The ergonomics of the knife are good if you have a small hand, and my hand is small, as you can tell. I go all the way to the back of the knife. It is so broad it's like holding a baseball bat. It has great ergonomics if you have my size of hand. The signage on the knife is minimal. On the show side, we have the WE maker mark on the pivot, which is tasteful and minimalist. And then we have the WE logo on the clip. And you can see a very small steel designation on the tang of the blade, S35VN. The value of the knife is $250 at major retailers. So what are my impressions on the WE 717 Valiant? For the class that it's in, the little big knife, I really like it. Are there opportunities for improvement? Yes, as I've mentioned, even with the interior milling, it weighs 5 ounces, which is a lot of knife. And really, I don't like carrying a 5-ounce knife, but there are going to be a lot of viewers out there that will like this knife. But what do I like about it? I like the compactness. It has a 3-inch blade, 4-inch handle, 7-inch overall size that makes it a great EDC size. I like the carbon fiber inserts. They feel and look great and give added traction to the knife. And I like the simplicity of the engineering in the 2-screw construction, the pivot and the back plate. Anytime you make a knife simpler, I'm going to like it. So in summary, the people who are going to be liking this knife are the people looking for a little big knife. They're going to want it. And the blade stock at 161 thousandths has a thick blade. The handle really fills out your hand, and there's interior milling to make it as light as possible for the heavy knife that it is. This knife is a well-built tank of a knife for less than $250. If you're looking for something like that, then the WE 717 Valiant may be the knife for you. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next House of Wisdom video.